Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at this 1998 Toyota Corolla, and this trim is the LE model. So for 1997 and going forward, Toyota introduced a new model of the iconic Toyota Corolla, and this is what it looked like. They had basically three trim levels. You had the VE, which was the value edition. You had the CE, which was the classic edition, and then you had the LE, which was the luxury edition. Basically, the difference between those three different models: for the value edition, the VE, it had a 3-speed automatic transmission, and you also had an available 5-speed manual. For the CE and the LE editions, you had the option of either a 5-speed manual, or you could buy the automatic 4-speed transmission. So for 1997, Toyota introduced a new engine, and let's pop up the hood here. Oh, it's broken. That's one thing you find a lot on this Corolla, so I have to pull here. I think there, it's open. So for 1997, for this eighth generation Toyota Corolla, Toyota introduced a new engine, which was an aluminum engine. You see right here, it's the 1ZZFE engine, and it produced 120 horsepower. And the innovation with this engine is that it had new laser etched valve guides, and those valve guides were supposed to help the vehicle reduce oil consumption. But anyone who has had any of these vehicles knows that you have to keep up with your oil levels. They are notorious for burning oil. In 2000, for the 2000 model year, they changed, and they actually had a variable valve timing. So you had the VVTi that was added, and also they went to individual coil packs, and I think that was in 2001, where each of the cylinders had its own individual coil pack. So those were the changes. And I also, in 2000, when they moved over to the VVTi, they bumped up the power, and the engine produced 125 horsepower at that point. The basic VE came without air conditioning. It came with manual controls for the windows, and also manual controls for the side mirrors. The LE, at least I know for the LE, came with air conditioning and electronic controls for the windows, electric windows, and also an electric control for the side mirror. So this is what the engine looks like. Very easy access. Alternator is right here. Easy to work on. If anything breaks, you can easily access the part and get it replaced without too much of a hassle. All right, let's close the hood and talk a little bit more about the vehicle. So for this model, you had different trims in different countries. Like, for example, in Japan and also in Europe, you had the wagon, which I believe over there they call the estate. And you also had later on in, I think, 2000, they came up with the S model to replace the VE, and the S model had a white background on the instrument cluster. I believe they also had a touring trim later on in this 8th generation, and the touring trim came with mud flaps that were color matched to the body, and also door handles color matched to the body. 2001, when you had the refresh, the reverse lights were no longer in this shape. They became circular. So that's one of the ways you can tell if it's a facelift model, which is 2000 and above. Also, the grille became a bit larger in 2000 when they did their facelift. So those are the two major things you would easily see, and those will tell you that it's a refresh model, a facelift model. So in the interior, as you can see, entry is you have the door that opens quite wide, but inside is a little bit cramped. As you can see, I have my seat pushed all the way to the back, and in the rear, not too much leg room. The headliners are notorious for falling apart, so you can see this one is falling apart. These door handles, they will break very easily, so get prepared to replace those. All right, let's jump in. So inside the vehicle, as you guys can see, this is the 4-speed automatic. That looks horrible. With the overdrive, you have the stereo here. You had the option of adding a CD deck, which could be in the trunk, or it could reside in this large cubby space you have down here, or even in the glove compartment. Over there you have a clock, basic clock, and this one, of course, like I said, has air conditioning. For the dash, basic instrumentation. On the right you have the fuel gauge. Then next to that you have the odometer, speedometer. To the left of that you have a tachometer, and to the extreme left you have the coolant temperature. You also have the indicator for the fuel door, so that you know it is on your left. And these vehicles were constructed mostly in North America, in the Fremont factory, which was bought by Tesla. The Fremont factory was opened by Toyota and GM as a joint venture, I believe in 1984. And they produced vehicles there like the Geo Prism, which were all batch engineered Toyota products. And it closed in 2010, and I think shortly after that, Elon Musk, Tesla, bought it from Toyota. These vehicles were also produced in Canada, in Ontario, by a company called, I believe, TMMC. Whereas in America, the joint venture was called, I believe, NUMMI, N-U-M-M-I. So that's the history of this vehicle. There you have gear position indicators, e-brake, a very tiny armrest right here. In later years, they brought this armrest a bit higher, so it sat a bit higher where you could actually rest your elbow on there. Interior looks okay. It's aged pretty well for the age of the vehicle itself. You have a standard rear view mirror, and here also you have the sun visor, steering wheel with airbag. The very first VE models of this Corolla did not have sway bars, so I think the handling was a little bit iffy. But from 1998 onwards, most of them had already the sway bar on all the versions of the vehicle. This one, of course, has the cruise control. And for what it is, I think it's a basic vehicle that will take you wherever you need to go safely. It's not a grand tourer by any measure of the imagination, but it will take you back and forth to work, let's say if you are in a city, or in case you have to do a very long commute. Also, one thing to note why people love these vehicles is that the engine, the 1ZZFE, has a timing chain and not a timing belt. So it's very common to see these vehicles, so long as you keep up with the oil, topping off the oil, you can easily see them go 300, 400, 500,000 miles. They do about, I think, mid 30s to low 40s on per gallon. So you expect anywhere from 35 to 40, 41 per gallon. The base models came with 175 65 by 14 inches, and the LE came with 185 75 14s. I think I have the 175 65 14s here. And those wheel covers, like I said, running this vehicle is very cheap. Those wheel covers, I got 4 brand new ones from Walmart for just $9. so incredibly cheap to keep and maintain the vehicle. Well, it's a vehicle that's new to me, so I expect to use it around for a little bit throughout the winter. Ground clearance is very low, so it's very easy to get stuck in case you it's very easy to get high centered in case you go where you have deep ruts. So that's it for the 1998 Toyota Corolla LE. Thanks guys for joining me for this quick review, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.